Alright everyone, Matt Furie, the creator of the Pepe frog thing before it became Smug Pepe and Sad Frog and every other derivative, has decided to jump back into it. He's doing what other companies and individuals have begun to do, which is we're in another DMCA dark age here, where if a person is posting material for entertainment, we saw this with PewDiePie with his Firewatch videos, we've seen this with others. What's happening is that people who have opinions that do not coincide with the opinions of some other creator are getting hit with legalese bullshit because they happen to have different opinions. Now, in this case, with the Pepe stuff, we saw somebody had written sort of a fake, essentially, children's book about Pepe and Pede, sort of the MAGA Pede character, I guess. And Furie sued them and is like, well, you can't sell these anymore and you're going to have to donate the proceeds to some, I guess, Islamic charity, which is, that was funny. I'm going to be honest there, I did laugh at that. Because just, that's a fairly clear breach of copyright. It's not just, hey, I wrote a book that like Cernovich did. He writes a book on memes, basically. Pepe's in there. He's getting sued by Matt Furie. I agree with Cernovich and his lawyer that that is unlikely to result in Cernovich actually facing repercussions. In fact, Furie might be screwed on a countersuit as far as saying, well, this is obviously malicious. Like, yeah, I included this character. I'm satirizing. I'm giving commentary. I just slapped it in there for the purposes of satirization. A figure that has become well known at this point. Look, Furie waited too long. Here's what I think it'll end up boiling down to. Furie waited and did nothing, in a copyright sense or any other sense, as Pepe was spread across the whole internet, slapped on posters, slapped on websites, slapped everywhere. He's now trying to crack down, but he sort of set his own precedent by waiting several years. Obviously, I think, if I had to guess, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and guess. And I don't have any proof that this is the case, but this is what I believe. I believe Furie is very happy that Pepe became so popular, because now he stands the chance to use this legal system to sue a bunch of people for putting Pepe in a book or something like that. And it's the image in question. Like with Cernovich, I believe he includes the image Smug Pepe in his book. If he were just talking about Smug Pepe and it's its mimetic importance or something, that obviously wouldn't be copyrighted. No court in the land would side with Furie. On the image, it's a little bit different, but the image is already everywhere. At what point do you say the image has become so viral, has been reproduced and altered so many times, has become so intrinsic to so many different kinds of political commentary, which is a special class of speech that's extra well protected, sort of like religious commentary? At what point does that almost negate the copyright process entirely, unless the person has very quickly acted to try to cut that off, and Furie didn't? He just sat by, he practically became a hermit there for a while. He's also suing Richard Spencer. He apparently served legal notice to the R. Donald page on Reddit. I think as far as the Reddit page goes, them using that as sort of a banner is ill-advised. He would probably prevail against them in a legal sense. They should probably back off and figure out what they're going to do. Not saying this to side with Furie so much as that's in a court that's dealing with copyright law, that could definitely be seen as infringement. But including it in a book that is not primarily about Pepe or primarily about Furie and simply plops the image there for the purposes of commenting on it, that's probably fair use. It might have been nice if he had approached Furie and said, hey, I'm writing a book on the topic, and, can I have your permission to put this in there? Like, that's considered polite. It's considered polite. Like, if somebody wanted to include some image that I had reworked or something and put it in a book, I may not, depending on what's being said, I may not really have a problem with that, but you should still ask. It's like people still ask me sometimes, oh, can I share your videos on Facebook? Well, you don't need my permission. You can share them if you want. Sharing function is there for a reason. I do appreciate that you were polite in asking me, But no, I'm never going to say no if you want to share one of my videos as is for my channel, because that's more views for me. So just consider yourself given permission to do that. I've had people ask, like, oh, can I do commentary on your videos? Like, can I take one of your videos, take a couple clips and comment on them, supply my own thoughts? Again, it's technically fair use. You can legally do that. I cannot legally do anything about that, unless apparently I'm dishonest and file false DMCA complaints that leave me legally vulnerable because I have a stick up my ass about what you've done. Oh, the commentary wasn't nice. It was critical commentary. I don't want this on the internet. I hate being criticized. You know, it's just like, it happens all day on the internet. It's like the point of the internet at this point is to criticize things that you don't like. There's more negative commentary than positive commentary anyway, for the most part. Most of the educational content is subjective, vacuous, and may not even be true, so who cares? But Matt Furie is really stepping in it. When he goes after this many people, this is what I would warn him of. You've pissed off a substantially large Reddit community, Cernovich and all his fans, and Cernovich is not alt-right. When Matt Furie says this, he leaves himself open to potential claims of defamation right there. Oh, I'm stopping the alt-right from using Pepe. I'm sending legal notice to Cernovich. Cernovich is not part of the alt-right, never was. He was at most part of the alt-light. And that's defamation because of the connotations that that label carries for political commentators. People need to start being a little bit more careful about calling people alt-right, Nazi, fascist. You gotta start being careful. Because when you're initiating a legal process and saying such things, you leave yourself vulnerable to being hit with the legal process yourself. Cernovich will probably win. If I had to guess, if this goes to court, Cernovich probably wins on defamation and on frivolous copyright claims. As far as Spencer, I don't know the details of that case in depth. Could be either way. As far as Reddit goes, having a Reddit using, you know, Pepe as the banner image, and you're supposed to subscribe, I guess, to the actual page or something in order to get Pepe to go away. Yeah, that's probably copyright infringement. Yeah, probably is. Like, if you were to say, if you were to start printing out pictures of Pepe and selling them, that would be copyright infringement, even if it is a derivative work that's not the same as the original Pepe anyway. Like, the original doesn't even look the same as most of the derivatives do. It's not 100% clear that he even technically owns the copyright to all these other images unless they're being emblazoned Pepe. Like, oh, this is a rare Pepe. Well, you're naming it the same thing. It's kind of a derivative work. It's similar in style. Yes, somebody else rendered it, but that would be like saying, let's say somebody else owns the copyright to a unique character. You know, some random superhero that they've drawn or something, and they've patented it, they've trademarked it. And I create something that looks very similar and has the same name and simply create a million derivative works of that. I'm probably screwed because it's fairly clear where the original work came from. I'm using the same name, it's similar enough in form. The average sane judge is going to find against me in that case. If, however, after a length of time, millions of people have been creating millions of derivative works, at what point are you really capable of saying, well, it's really nothing we can do at this point? You waited too long to act, did not stress, you know, you took no real action to tell people, hey, knock it off. You took no legal action. And so there's a problem here. Also, is Matt Furie even an American? I'm not sure that I thought he was like Spanish or Portuguese or something. Like, is he going to come over here to sue people? I don't know. The internet has really overlapped the court systems of the world to some extent anyway, though. So things can be done more easily on that token. Like in the past, like you publish a book in one country, someone rips it off and publishes it elsewhere. There may not have been much in the way of legal recourse. You can find examples of this within the sort of arcana I edit back in the 18 and even early 1900s. Some of these fortune-telling works clearly plagiarize one another. Some of it is totally verbatim. None of these people had permission from the earlier authors, and in all cases, there was a copyright entailed there, a patent. But nobody could do anything about it. In many cases, you find they jump around from nation to nation. Like a lot of it comes from what was then the British Empire. Some of it comes from the U.S. And so over time, it sort of bounces back and forth. Like you got the philosophical Merlin, then you've got Napoleon's Oraculum, you've got Tussi's Fortune Teller, the universal fortune teller of the Norwood Gypsy, Madame Zadkiel's Fortune Teller. All of these works ripped one another off, but there was nothing they could do about it copyright-wise. In some cases, they may not have even ever known that there was a copyright breach, because a lot of people back then were illiterate. Books weren't as popular as they are now, in the age of Amazon and publishing on demand. But I would warn Furie, if he's aware of this commentary, I hope he sees this. Be careful with pissing off so many large names and groups at the same time, if only because the repercussion may be that once again, memetics take hold, Pepe becomes popularized again, spread around even further, and counteraction is taken against you. Not in a legal sense. Cernovich may prevail against you. That's ill-advised what you're doing with him, because you're inconveniencing him greatly, and he's got a huge fan base. But when you go after somebody and tar them with a label that doesn't really apply, while going after people that are actually part of that label too, pissing them off, while going after Reddit, one of the largest websites, making people there feel negative, and then you get other commentators aware of this thing involved, like myself, as a libertarian. Okay, copyright law, yes, I believe it should be reformed. Some of these claims you're making probably stand. But you appear to be angering too many people at the same time. That's not a good place to be. Because even if you prevail in court, the court of public opinion is different, and it is less limited in its judgment of people. What a lot of people will say is, oh, he's trying to profiteer off of the popularity of a meme that ultimately he only created the original work of and no derivatives of, and other people popularized it. He waited deliberately to let it be popularized and now wants to vampirize the income, so to speak. That may be the claim that is made by some people about Furie. I don't know if that's the case. And Furie is funny. His cartoons are good. And he set the groundwork for what is, essentially, the most popular meme of all time. But utilizing the court system in this manner, couldn't you have just contacted these people? Couldn't you have just contacted Cernovich and said, hey, I'm the creator. I'm worried that this is copyright infringement. Can we work out a deal? I take a cut or something, get money that way. But no, he just said, no, you can't sell this book anymore. It's not a good idea. And Cernovich's lawyer, in no small way, said, no, we're not going to listen to you. You have no legal claim, and we're going to countersue, so back off. So that's a little bit about what's happening with poor Pepe. This poor frog has been dragged through hell in the most literal sense. From being like a goofy character that nobody knew about, sort of, a B-tier cartoon, to being the most popular image and getting warped beyond recall, then getting conflated with an Egyptian god, and now that supposedly is a hate symbol, which, by the way, is bullshit. And the ADL is weighing in on this, too. Oh, Pepe's a hate symbol. We've included some Pepes in the hate symbol data. Pepe's not a hate symbol. It's a frog. You can have communist Pepe. You can have progressive Pepe if you want. You can have ADL Pepe. Why not? Let everyone have their own frog. That'd be great. And it'd be funny. It'd be amusing, humorous, entertaining. That's why it spread around in the first place, because it was entertaining to people. And Furie's cartoon alone did not popularize that. He would be largely unknown still if it weren't for other people deriving from his original work. He could capitalize on this easily, by the way. He could write a few books, write a short published, do like a 30, 40 page booklet. Slap it on Amazon through publishing on demand, put a bunch of Pepes in there, which you're laying legal claim to. Okay, well then use them. Make a Pepe compilation. Have a book called 1001 Rare Pepes. You realize how much money, dude, you'd make? Way more than trying to initiate a bunch of lawsuits on people. Go down the good guy route and screw people who think, well, it's a hate image, it's hateful, it's big. It's not. You know that. I know that as an intelligent commentator. All these other people that actually would purchase such a book know that. Go ahead and capitalize on it. You'll make millions. You make money beyond your wildest dreams, and you can set yourself up as one of the good guys of the internet. Do what Ben Garrison did. It worked for him. He's more popular than ever. People start remaking all of his cartoons. Blatantly breaching copyright, by the way, in the process in many cases. Even more of a clear-cut case than all these derivatives. These are just, they were slapping, you know, a swastika or something on a Ben Garrison cartoon. And then he gets more and more popular. For a while he fights against it. Then he comes, I think he threw up his hands. He said, well, there's another way forward here. Yeah, I may not agree with these people, but they're having a good time. Ultimately, you know, people know my real cartoons from the modified ones. So I'm just going to capitalize it. I'm going to give people what they want. There's like millions of them. And now a lot of people fucking love Ben Garrison. And they find he's a meme too. Matt Furie could do the same thing. He can be a villain or he can be a hero to internet culture. I'm still thinking there are a lot of people who don't understand the difference there. They think that the old way of, well, someone breached my copyright, you know, the old guard internet still works. Doesn't work. Yeah, okay, you won in court. You lost in the court of public opinion. Now you can't do shit. That's the problem. Don't cut off your own career because of this. If I was him, I'd say, yeah, you know, second thought, I don't really care. I'm just going to write some Pepe books. I'm going to make more Pepe. Because I'm Matt Furie, I'm the original gangster of making Pepe. Well, you know, who cares? Steer it in whatever direction you want. Be prepared for people to derive and deface, but just deal with it. Just ignore that fact. People will enjoy it. They'll have a good time. That's the way forward. That's what I would do. If I made a cartoon and people were like making a million replications of it, slapping it everywhere and infringing my copyright, I wouldn't sue a single one of them. You know why? Because it'd be a bad idea. It'd be much, much better to jump into that discourse, say, hey, yeah, don't you like my fucking cartoon? Yeah, I'm going to write a book on the subject. Why don't you buy it? You know, you've infringed my copyright. I don't really care about that, like, lol, fuck the system. But you can support me if you buy this book. Hey, look, it's, you know, shiny. It's got the cartoon on the front. People would do that. Oh, you'd sell so many copies. You can't even imagine how much money you'd have, dude. You're passing up a golden opportunity. You've been handed a golden ticket, and you're about to rip it up and throw it in the sewer. That's my advice to Matt Furie. The internet is a very, very powerful thing. Don't let it go to waste. Don't be one of those people that sticks with that old way of copyright and patent and stuff. It's just legalese. Nobody cares. It's not like it's going to stop anybody from putting up Pepe's online anyway. You can go after them. Every time you whack one mole, 10 more will show up. It won't work, and you're likely as not to lose half of these cases. How long are you going to maintain that everlasting battle that you intend to wage? Not a great idea. That's about all. Peace out.